welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Vinnie Stergin, musician, artist, educator, founder of the Mindful Ukulele method. If I'm pronouncing it correct,
Beautiful.
welcome to the show.
Yeah, nice to be here, AJ.
Thank you. And what's the correct way of pronouncing this ukulele? If I say I saw it on the internet, it was ukulele. So
Yes, exactly.
What's the correct way?
Ukulele, you can say.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Right. So ukulele, we will talk about that. We will talk about the transformative power of music, about creativity. First, to understand from you, Vinny, you have been into this line maybe from age 3, if I understand. So help us understand, what music means to you, though everybody knows about music, but what it means to you, how it has helped you beyond you playing it at a professional level, and then about the ukulele part, that why did you choose this? Is it that ukulele chose you, or you chose this particular instrument? Help us understand.
Yeah, great. So the first question, probably, I've always been a musician, like you said, since I'm a very young person. So I was always surrounded by music. I grew up in the Austrian mountains, which is the western part of Austria, not Australia. So we don't have kangaroos in Austria. And I come from a musical family. My brother and my sister were playing music in the local brass bands, like Oompa Oompa bands was a big thing there. And I grew up doing that. I started to play the clarinet and then started to play other instruments such as the guitar. I started to form bands, sang in choirs. And it always has been my passion that I always loved to do. And somehow then it also turned into my career. I've been all over the place in the world. Currently, I'm living in London, in the UK, and music is just always, it was always a place for me where I could go even when life got hard. It was always this sacred space where I could create my own world. Nothing else mattered. So it's always been my source of energy, and luckily I managed to turn it into my career. So I'm doing quite a lot of different things. I'm a recording artist. I have a band called Shiny Brain Crayons that I tour with and that I perform with. I have a local business in London where I teach people how to play music. It's many different instruments, mostly guitar, music production, and obviously also the ukulele. And which brings me to the ukulele. The Mindful Ukulele method is a teaching method that I developed over the past 10, 15 years with hundreds of my students. And your question, did I find the ukulele or the ukulele found me, is I can answer it like this. I chose the ukulele to use as a tool for this method because it's quite an easy instrument to learn. It's not as hard as a violin or a clarinet or any other instrument. It's a very fun, accessible instrument. It doesn't cost a lot. And the Mindful Ukulele method is all about combining the ancient teachings of mindfulness with the learning of how to play the ukulele, like learning a new skill and learning an instrument. And I started to combine those two things and just found that it really worked well for my students. It helps them to reduce their stress levels, cultivate healthy new habits, healthy mind habits. And it's also a very amazing way of connecting your body with your mind in a very fun way. And it's all about being curious, exploring your senses in a very fun way. Actually, before I forget it, I put together a free course for your listeners. So if anyone is interested, you can go on kaj.mindfulukulelemethod.com, where you can experience it. It comes with a couple of videos, and by the end of it, you'll be able to play your first song on the ukulele. Did I answer all your questions? I went a bit off track,
Yes,
maybe.
absolutely, absolutely, and thank you for that special gift for the audience. I will add it to the
Yeah,
YouTube
amazing.
description well enough, and also so that people can make the best use of this. And music is the voice of God. If people understand it that way, music is the voice of your heart. Music is the voice of the universe. It all depends on how should people take music in today's time, Vinny. How would you like to? Because you see, we are amidst so much of noise. Even there is white noise now, and music
Yeah,
is being, isn't it?
yeah.
And music is being produced by even artificial intelligence, so you don't need to learn anything. You say that this ukulele is a easy instrument. We are going to much more easier methods of created music, or perhaps listening music. I don't know how to put it. How would you like to explain music and creativity to people, especially of the younger generation, because they would be the one, who would be taking this whole voice of the universe, voice of the God into the future along with humanity's progress. How do you see that? Your father taught, gave you that direction. Who is
Mhm,
going to give them that direction? AI
mhm.
certainly cannot give. That is my understanding. Your words perhaps will be much more better understood.
Yeah, good question. So for me and also for my students, it's all about, like you say, we live in a very noisy time. We have things being thrown at our faces from our devices every second. But a way of getting away from that is by engaging in the creative act. It's a magical place to go, where you explore yourself. We all have this pool of creativity in ourselves, and by learning a new skill, I mean, it can be any skill. I just use instruments, or in the mindful ukulele method, the ukulele, just as a tool because it's just fun, but it can be really anything. But by engaging in learning something new that you don't know, it's a very amazing way to stop the noise. It gets you out of your head. It makes you focus. You explore your senses, as I said. You open your ears. You feel something in your hands. It's about, also, if you do it with someone else together, it's about vibrations between people. It's about communication, and you can't rush that process. So the beautiful thing is that you do something, and once you commit to the process, it's one step at a time. It doesn't go, you can't just press a button and it does it for you. And through that experience, it creates a new awareness for yourself. You suddenly think, okay, I can do that, or I feel myself in a different way, and you gain so many new perspectives. It makes you more aware of, um, uh, uh, like, it creates an openness in yourself, and you're much more able to receive any other clues that the universe sends to you. So it's not only that you learn a new skill or learn how to play an instrument, but very often what I find with my students is that it radiates out into other areas of their life. They get better in their relationships because they start to listen better. It's uh, it's mainly it's helping you to be much more in the moment, that you're, when you do something like this, you're experiencing yourself in a whole new way. And it's very simple, actually. It's not very difficult, but once you commit to the process, okay, I'm learning this, I'm showing up every day for 5-10 minutes or whatever to start with, it just helps you to create a whole new mindset.
Right. Whole new mindset. A lot of transformation can happen through music. To understand from you better, Vinny, is that what do students come to you for? It is very obvious they come to learn music, but what is it that they look for? Is it about learning music? Is it about earning money out of it? Why I ask this is that you have been able to balance both parts of it, the music part, as well as you have you have also worked with corporates in terms of the Red Bull, Polaroid, all these people. You have had compositions for Tokyo Olympia 2020, and so many things you have achieved in that music. Not everybody will be able to do that. So, and many people just want to, look at it purely as a business or creation. I don't know how much of that possibility is today. What would you advise people to look at music as when they get started? Because they may have big dreams, but talent is something else. Even though is an instrument may be easy to learn, but it may be a very difficult long thing in the long run. So how does, because the indie music part, the business part, and you've got to calibrate all the things, your life plus the music part, and success may not come very very quickly. How does that happen? How do you see it? What do you say something who wants to get into
Mhm.
music?
For me, as I said, music was always my passion, and then just somehow I ended up doing it as my career as well. What I always found very important for myself, and it worked for me, is to spread my wings as far and bright as possible. So I have many little things that I'm doing, and then it all adds up to one portfolio career as a musician. So I write, I teach, I I teach with in different places. It's all about creating opportunities, and it's not for everyone. It's quite a hard. It's not a secure career. You always need to plan ahead. You always need to think ahead. But if you're passionate about it, it's a very beautiful way of just making a living. And I always also was educating myself about business, marketing, and it's a balance. And you in today's world with the internet, there are so many ways where you can educate yourself. But I always think it's very important to not put your eggs all in one basket. So I have many eggs in many baskets. And just going back to your questions, what people usually come to me with is most of my students, or nearly all of my students, they don't want to do music as their profession. Very often I work with people from all kinds of backgrounds and from all walks of lives. And very often they always had a fascination for music. They wanted to have music in their life or creativity in some way, but they ended up doing some other job. But most of my adult students, they always wanted to learn about music, but then life gets in the way, families are being started, and then at some point they are comfortable in their lives, they earn enough money, their career is going well, but still they are looking for meaning, for something new to discover. And so loads of my students, they come because they also want to learn about mindfulness, because they have really stressful jobs, and I help them with in a very fun way to reduce their stress levels, help them to connect their body with their minds. So in my lessons we do a lot of meditation exercises, and then we learn a song, and then we do another exercise. It's a lot about learning how to breathe again, because many people, through all that noise that you already mentioned, we even lost our ability to just breathe. Like, how do I breathe? It's such a thing that we do every second of our lives, but to do it consciously, it's really amazing for some people. we just start doing breathing exercises, because that opens up, or that quiets the noise. It really centers you. That on the mindful ukulele method. But going back to your question, what advice I would give to younger people who want to do it: just be curious, try out things as much as you can. I did so many projects that ended up nowhere, but I still went for them because I had a drive to it. I wanted to explore, and failure is a big part of the process, and it's one of the most important processes, because once you do something and if you notice, oh, it's not working out, then you're already one step ahead. But if it's always just in your mind and you think, oh, when I do this, then I can do that, you're never actually going through the creative process where you build up your arsenal of knowledge, your very unique knowledge. Does that all make
Absolutely.
sense?
Absolutely, a lot of sense, and it has already made a lot of sense to a lot of people already, Vinny. Like you have taught millionaires and CEOs, and to even prison inmates, and that is where the beauty of that communication is. That how did you communicate as to what you communicated to those millionaires, CEOs, as well as prison inmates? What is it that millionaires wanted from you in terms of music, and what
Mhm.
is it that prison inmates wanted from your music from you? I want to understand the mindset of both sides of the spectrum.
It's very, very similar. Like, it doesn't matter where you're from, what you do, what your background is, what your skin color is. We as humans, we are always longing for connection. We're longing for partnership, and it's always about creating meaning in people's lives. And because life is so crazy, the human experience is crazy. You never know what's around the corner. And always, what I find with anyone that I worked with or that I work with, it's about creating a positive energy, enabling people to explore themselves. And I'm just broadly speaking, or with my students who are better off, they're looking for something real, something where they can feel themselves again. It's also a lot about again getting in tune with their bodies, because they are so or have to deal with so many numbers and so much responsibility, that they lost this place of creativity where you can just explore. Curiosity and experiencing music is it's a very magical way. It's magic, because we create something out of nothing, which is amazing if you think about it. And in prison, it was again a same, that people wanted to express themselves. It's about expression, about channeling your feelings into something, whatever it is. And music is just a beautiful outlet to do that. And I'm always one of my main missions with what I do is that I want to encourage everyone to explore creativity, explore music. And it's not just for some people who are very talented, or very often in our culture, everything needs to be perfect, but nothing needs to be perfect. As soon as you start to explore and express yourself, that's all what is important. And then if you want to get better, it's the start of a journey. And for a lot of people, it's also about gaining self-confidence and just living with the feeling, okay, I can't do that yet, but I will be able to do it. And that just nurtures our confidence. And again, it brings you into a place where you're 100% in the moment. That applies to anyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have explained it very, very well, Benny, and especially I like that you don't have to be perfect all the time. Perfection is an utopia which we keep on always chasing and working towards. If you be the perfect the very first time, then everything is over.
Yeah,
We just
exactly.
have to
Very true.
So we got to start, and when you start, even see, I have done more than 500 live shows, and I still am learning. You see, I tried this ukulele pronunciation, and well, when I was trying to, I still could not. But does that stop me from the show? No. You be yourself, and you will learn along the way. You will learn from the masters like you. You will learn by life itself. You will learn from the music that the universe creates. You will learn from the music that you create. It is a journey, and that is where again I will take your understanding of your mindful ukulele method once again for the audience, exactly what they can make out of this thing, and also about your band Shiny Brain Crayons, so that they can know more about it and also
Yeah,
follow you wherever possible.
amazing. Beautiful. Yeah.
So tell us about a bit more about your uh, mindful ukulele method, so that people know it a bit more
Yeah,
in
okay,
detail.
perfect.
In detail.
Now I get you. I was getting lost for a moment. So the mindful ukulele method is my way of teaching, where I combine meditation with and mindfulness with the learning of ukulele. It's all about immersing yourself in the creative act. I do that usually online via one-to-one lessons on Zoom. Also in my local area, I do it as well, but it's become more of a thing that I do it with people all over the world.
Right.
And what I'm mainly doing is a 12-week course where we start somewhere, wherever you are. And by the end of it, you'll be able to play your most favorite songs. And you also will have a toolkit of mindfulness exercises that you can also do in your everyday life. And the main goal is to um, help people to connect to themselves, create those new healthy mind habits that you then don't just use while doing music, but also in your relationships, in your workplace, wherever it radiates out everywhere. And all that by doing something very fun, which is making music. And uh, again, if this is something interesting to you, there is this free course for your lovely listeners,
Right.
and you can find it on kag.mindfulukulelemethod.com. Just check it out. There's nothing to lose. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. But it's just a fun introduction so that you can see what it's all about. And my band, Shiny Brain Crayons, type it in, you know how to find stuff. We just released a cool single called Shiny Brain Crayons, and we have lots of other things planned. Yeah, would be nice to connect to any of you on all the platforms.
Absolutely, absolutely. There is much to learn from you. So people, if they want to connect with you directly, which is the best platform for them to connect with you, so that
uh,
they can know more about
Really, any the kag.mindfulukulelemethod.com is a good place if you're interested in the ukulele. Otherwise, I'm on Instagram, which is @Stergin Music, or TikTok Stergin. If you type in Stergin Stergin, you find me on your favorite platform.
Absolutely, absolutely. They will find you, and through you, they will also find the music that they are so much looking for.
Yes, beautiful.
With, with this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thanks, AJ. It was beautiful to be here.